This video will be reviewing the quadratic formula. In order to use the quadratic formula, we have to make sure that we are in standard form. Okay? And standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now the reason why we like the quadratic formula is because it will work every single time. Whether we have two solutions, one solution, complex solutions, it will work every single time. It's not always the fastest, but we know it will always work. Okay? If we remember, the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Now you don't have to have this memorized for the EOC. However, it will be helpful. Okay, they will give you this formula on the EOC, but if you haven't memorized, it's one less thing to take some time to look at. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into a few examples. All right, so first off, we have to look at our equation here. And are we in standard form? Yes. Okay, we have ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so let's identify what a, b, and c are. So you know that a equals 2, b equals negative 3, and c equals 1. Okay, notice how I keep my negative sign whenever I look at a coefficient. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug into our formula. Okay, so x equals negative b, notice I'm using parentheses in all of these, plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so a quick refresher. There's a quadratic formula. B is negative 3, b is negative 3, a is 2, 1 is c, and then a is 2. Okay, let's go ahead and do some simplifying here. Okay, now we can't put this exactly in the calculator because we're often not going to see decimals on the EOC. So we got to make sure we look at each part individually. So negative times negative 3 gives us a positive 3, plus or minus. Inside our square root, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the calculator here. Okay, you don't have to put this in the calculator, but if it helps to use the calculator, go ahead and do that. Negative 3 squared minus 4. Oh well. Minus 4 times 2 times 1. Notice how if I'm putting this in the calculator, I need to use my parentheses. That's why I put them in my problem when I showed my work. So I put them in my calculator when I get that answer there. Okay? That's 1. Okay? So we have plus or minus square root of 1, and then 2 times 2 is going to give us 4. Okay? So, let's do some more simplifying here. Because on the EOC, they'll want us to simplify most of the way, if not all of the way. So you get 3 plus or minus square root of 1 is 1 over 4. Now this gives us two answers. 3 plus 1 over 4 or 3 minus 1 over 4. We need both of them. Okay? So there's 4 over 4, which is 1. 2 over 4, which is 1/2. So x equals 1, 1/2. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and look at another problem. All right, formula. Now, are we in standard form? Okay, let's just do a quick jog of the memory of where standard form is. No, we are not. We must get into standard form before we can use the quadratic formula. If we're not in standard form, the quadratic formula will not work. So you have to move everything over to the left side. Minus 10x, minus 10x. Now minus 17, minus 17. And look at that. We're in standard form. Let's go. So a equals 2. B equals negative 11. C equals negative 17. Let me go ahead and plug into my formula using parentheses. Always use parentheses. This is where the most mistakes are made, when we don't use parentheses. Okay. let's see, all over 2a. So x equals, I'm going to go and simplify each part. So negative times negative 11 gives us positive 11 plus or minus. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the calculator again. Okay, so we have negative 11 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 17. Notice how I use all my parentheses here. Okay, 257. There we go. And all over 4. Okay, so I'm just going to take a check here because I'm not sure. Is 257 a perfect square? So if I do that, I get a decimal. I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, if you get to that point where this number does not make a nice, neat, perfect square, there you go. Call it a day. Okay, that's all you need. Now I have a couple questions over the quadratic formula.